Oh, I am just so excited and honored to be here with you, my dear friend. Thank you for being part of this You community and choosing to be here right now with me and my amazing guest who feels like a soul sister from another mister. Literally, I just said to her, we better start recording because I could talk to you for hours. You are going to love Emma, and I know you're going to also love her wisdom and her amazing accent. Emma Dunwoody is a human design expert. She is a master coach, a behavioral specialist, and she's host of the #1 global human design podcast. She wakes people up. Yes, we need that. She wakes people up to the power within them using her unique method of transformational human design. It's a system of self-knowledge and guidance, unlike anything else that exists. I'm so excited to talk about that. Her vision is to take human design mainstream so that it becomes more widely accepted than any other global profiling, behavior, or healing system. She believes it will transform personal development, education, and business forever. Emma wants to inspire everyone to unlock their inner wisdom, to take their power back, and feel deeply confident in the decisions they make. This will create a population that values themselves and courageously lives their truth, which will deliver us to a new paradigm of peace, joy, and abundance. Yes, yes, and yes to all of that, Emma. I'm just so excited. Thank you for being here. I'm really looking forward to diving in with you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And it's so cool to be, like in the energy of another MG that gets as excited about things as I do. So I think we're going to have a really good time.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's start there because I know for some of you, you're like, I know MG, I know human design, and others are like, what is MG? Like, what does that mean? So maybe we start kind of just going over the basics and so those that are if you do know, it'll be a lovely review. I know that Emma's going to go deep, deep, deep. So you'll learn some new things. And for those that are like, I don't know what that is, we'll level set for everybody.
I love that. Well, human design ultimately is a synthesis of ancient wisdom and modern science. And the wisdoms that come together are Western astrology, the Hindu chakra system, the Kabbalah tree of life, and the Chinese I Ching. We've now also, from the science realm, we understand that the Chinese I Ching has now been mapped back to the human genetic codon. So we're starting to see that synthesis happening from, the spirituality and the wisdom and the science. We're also talking about something called neutrinos, which are these subatomic particles, which is how we actually get our human design chart. And this is something that there's a facility in Japan that's investing billions in studying neutrinos, and of course, it's also bringing into all of it quantum physics. This world that we're moving into, that we really are creating a reality from the way we feel, and ultimately. Human design is our energetic blueprint. It's our authenticity. It's our truth. And I think it's so incredibly powerful at this time because we're sitting at this time in history where we're in liminal space. We're in the in-between. We're no longer the planet and the race that we used to be, but we're not yet there. We're not who we're becoming yet. And human design, I believe, is the thing that can navigate the gap and create this new world that we're creating from our own individual authenticity.
I am obsessed with this for a lot of reasons. I love that human design pulls from so many ancient wisdom traditions and brings in obviously astrology and quantum physics as well. I think what you're saying, I got little goosebumps, which is always a sign. When you talked about it's our energetic blueprint, and something we talk a lot about here is how to really honor your energy and how when we do that, that's where healing, that's where transformation, that's where that feeling of authenticity and flow comes. And so one of the reasons I'm so excited to talk to you, Emma, is my hope is that anyone listening is going to, first of all, we'll have all your information where they can get their chart if they don't have it. but that, we all can learn and understand our own unique thumbprint of energy because we all have a different energetic thumbprint, is what I understand, or blueprint,
Yeah.
better way to say it.
I love that. I love the thumbprint. I think that's a fantastic idea. And, one of the big things for me as a behavioralist and a behavioral coach, and also my own personal journey, was that I realized really early on that there were all these authority figures, all these experts that were telling me who I was and how
Mm.
to behave, and that I couldn't actually heal myself. And I just knew instinctively inside of me that that wasn't true. And ultimately, I didn't have human design 20 years ago when I was diagnosed with depression and panic disorder.
Mm.
I actually had to discover the power that lay within me on my own. And it was a long and winding path. And the beauty of human design, and I love what you were talking about flow and alignment and feeling your energy. What human design does is it just specifies everything. Like we might have this beautiful, subtle knowing or this intuition, but sometimes it's like grabbing at smoke, like you can feel it and you're like, poof, it's gone. Whereas with human design, we can create or understand the specifics of our energy, how it works, how we make decisions, what our significant themes are, how we move through life, how we serve people. And then all of a sudden, what we can do is we can look deep and we can go, wow, well, there's my shadow. There's the stories I tell myself. And at the same time, as we integrate those things, we have access to the higher potential. So every time we discover a shadow, if we're doing it, almost the old school way through it, like just going, well, what are my belief systems? What do I think about money? What do I think about purpose? We're diving into these belief systems and we're really focused on healing something, but what we're not aware of is our own specific theme and the potential of that theme. So as soon as we bring human design into it, we're like, okay, I can see my shadow, I can see my fear, I can see the mindset that I've built that I now need to recalibrate or recondition, and I can see the potential. Like right here on this piece of paper, as I'm reading or as I'm listening to this thing, I'm like, wow, that lies within me. And you know it, you resonate with it. Your whole body's like, yeah. Your mind's like, are you crazy? Like, that's amazing. I'm not sure you can actually do that. But your body's like, that's us. That's us. We can do that. Let's go for it. So for me, human design gives us the fast track specificity, and real access to the potential, the specific potential that lies within us.
Oh, I love that. This is like where I want to just nerd out on potentiality because the way I see it, it's so beautiful. This to me, it's like highlighting, the whole idea behind this show being your You-est you, your most authentic self, is that you are connected in to your energetic blueprint, to your, your soul self, to the divine, to the potentiality, to the reason we all came here, right? We only express as ourselves in this lifetime. That's it, one time in this lifetime. And so I just think it's like I'm getting this image of like the key that unlocks the door to who knows what, like so many possibilities and potential.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to dive into this because to me, that is what I think we're all looking for, is that key. How do we open up our potential? How do we really step into, the gifts, the strengths, the specific mission that we're all here on? And to me, this is what I'm hearing you say. What I understand is this is where we can find it.
Yeah, 100%. And like I'm very driven by purpose. So purpose is a large part of the way I work with human design, because I believe it's really important at this time in history that we all access our purpose and we all live and embody that. And how do we use human design to access that? Well, there's many layers because human design is very complicated. There's a lot of different layers. There's a lot of things plugging into each other. It's something that we haven't seen before. So if you've ever got your chart and you've had a look at it, you're like, what is this weird thing? Like, I don't even know what that thing is. So it can be overwhelming. However, one of the things that I'm really good at, we actually talk a lot about making human design simple. It's in my core talent, in my design, simplifying things. And ultimately, if you're new to human design, the best thing to do is go and get your free chart from my website, and then just start to understand your type and your strategy, and then your authority. Now, your strategy is the thing that the universe is how the universe is going to guide you. Okay. So for me and for you, we're both manifesting generators, which is our type, meaning that our strategy is to respond and inform. Okay. So what that means is that we might have an idea, a download, an inspiration, something that's internal. We can't act on it straight away because that's just mental energy. There's no sacral, because we're MGs, there's no sacral action energy behind it yet. Then we go out into our day after having the download, and if you're like me and probably like you write it down in your journal, or on a piece of paper, or you stick it on a sticky note, and you go out into your day, and then the synchronicities start to show up. Someone mentions it. Someone says, have you ever thought of doing this thing? Or things like this start to happen in your world, and then you start to respond. And the sacral is going to say, yes, you've got energy for it, or no, you don't. And the informing piece, as manifesting generators, we need to be informing, declaring the direction of our energy. It's not asking for permission. It's just like, I'm going to go and do this, or I'm thinking of doing that, or I'm currently spending time. Can you give me some time out? Leave me alone for an hour. And they need to be informed. Now, the other piece that we want to start with is our authority, which is our own unique internal decision-making guide. So for me, I'm an emotional authority, and nearly half of the global population are emotional, which means I need to wait for emotional clarity. So when I'm making decisions, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm riding out my emotional wave, and I'm waiting for that clarity to drop in. For you, you're actually a pure MG, meaning that you're a sacral authority. So your decisions are made instantly in the moment with the deepest depth of knowing what is correct for you in that moment. So it's just about trusting, yes, I've got energy for this, or no, I don't. So once we start to understand and experiment, because human design is an experiment, it's not a dogma. When we start to experiment with strategy and authority, that's really enough to start with. That's enough. And then if you are like me and a lot of us, and you're like, I'm so curious, I want to go deeper, then I always encourage people to trust their intuition. Where do you want to go? What are you curious about? Do you want to go into the incarnation cross? Do you want to look at your Pearl sequence, which is part of the gene keys? Like, what is it that you're drawn to? Is it a specific gate? Is it a specific planet? And then allow your own internal guidance system to take you on that journey of really unpacking your energy at the deepest level.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for just reviewing that piece alone. Like, what I'm hearing is really the understanding. You want to know your type, your strategy, and your authority. Like, a good place to start would be there. It's so interesting. I'm just thinking, not to get sidetracked, but with myself, it's not emotion, it's sacral. That's really true. And it's something that, this goes back to what you said, Emma, which is why I love this work, is, society definitely did not train me to trust my sacral intuition response. In fact, it was really about what's logical, what makes sense. And I've done a lot of reflecting in so many areas of life, especially the ones where I went more with like, what does my mind say? What should I do? When I now know, when I start getting into the shoulds, people say like, don't should all over yourself. The truth is, when I get into shoulds, I'm like, oh, that's not in the world. That's not in the land of sacral or my authority. That's in the world of ego, of mind, of fear. And so we all have different ways of understanding ourselves, but it's been really, human design's been helpful for me because I've learned I will just know. I know immediately in my intuition. It can be very quick. And I've learned, and sometimes it makes zero sense. I mean,
yes,
even what I'm doing today, like, this did not make sense in the plan that I was following. And then, my intuition shifted that. So this is like, I think this is for all of us, especially, I know I have a lot of like recovering left brainers, like those that have done a lot of time in the lane of, what makes sense and logic and left brain and, follow a certain path and you're told to do certain things. And I guess I'm just saying to you, if that's you, we're saying to you, that sometimes that might be what's so or what's right for you. However, there is an internal guidance. That's what you're talking about, Emma, that
Yeah.
is going to help you when sometimes it doesn't make sense. And that can take courage, that can take compassion. So I think what would be super helpful, Emma, is to go through the 5 types. If you want to just dive in there, I know there, I believe, are 5, unless I got that
Yep.
wrong. And I'll let you take it away and
Yeah.
share for those who may need a reminder or for those who are like, I have no idea what this is.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. So we have in human design, we have the 5 types. These really are, it's our jumping off point. So the deeper you go into your design, it's almost like the less type matters. Other than strategy, authority, and your signature themes, type isn't as important the deeper you go. However, it's a way that we can really simply and easily start to understand our energetic blueprint and our aura. So our aura is this bubble of energy that we're walking around in, how it feels to others and how it feels to us. So the 5 types, we have a manifestor, a generator, then we have the hybrid, which is a manifesting generator, which is part manifestor, part generator. Then we have a projector, and finally we have a reflector. Manifestors are about 10% of the global population. Their strategy is to initiate and inform, and they are on the planet to inspire people into action. They're our trailblazers. They're our people who spark new things, people who want to lead the way. They actually are the only people on the planet that are designed to initiate. The rest of us have to respond to something external in some way. Now, being a manifestor, you have a really big aura. You're really powerful. As a kid, you probably knew what you wanted, when you wanted it, how you wanted it, and probably didn't need a lot of guidance or management from older people. And that can often irritate the older people. That can upset people. So what you have to understand is that as a manifestor, often as a kid, you shut it down. You shut down your big, powerful aura and swap it for people pleasing, because you notice that you being big and powerful upsets people. So instead you become a people pleaser. And the thing I want to say to you is stop it, because ultimately you are big, powerful. You can be polarizing. You are on the planet to inspire your people into action. So you have to be authentically, completely unapologetically, authentically you, so that people that are your people will be inspired by you. And then you need to lead the way. You need to just do you. A famous manifestor that I think is such a great representation of a manifestor is Johnny Depp. And one of the things that he's really known for is, he'll have the script, everyone knows what they're meant to do, and then he walks on to set and then he just goes. He just does Johnny. And all the directors love him because he brings the magic. And that's the manifestor. Don't get in their way. Let them just do their thing. And yeah, as I said, their strategy is to initiate and inform. Then we have the generator. So with the generators and the manifesting generators, they make up just over 70% of the global population. And the generator has the big, attractive aura. So these are the people, especially when they're in alignment, especially when they're doing the work that lights them up, they're the people that just feel really comfy and cozy and delicious to be around. They can be very, very easy, especially when they're in alignment. Now, for generators, your strategy is to respond. And we talked a little bit about that earlier. It's all about, you'll have the internal guidance going on, but you've got to wait for something external because your sacral needs to respond to it. Like, yeah, that lights me up. I'm excited. I have energy for that. Or, nope, I don't have energy for that. So these are the people who are here to build the new world. You have to do the work that lights you up and follow that lit up feeling, because you are really creating the new paradigm. Now, often with generators in the shadow, they do things out of obligation because they have a lot of energy to take action. They will often be the ones that just take responsibility for things and run with it. And generators and manifesting generators, they tend to do this thing called functional burnout. So where some of the other types will be laid flat on a couch or in a bed, or they'll have autoimmune disorders or whatever, the sacral beings, they can keep going and going and going and going. They just lose all passion for life, all lust for life. They're just like a zombie. And so you've got to be really cautious of that, being a generator or a manifesting generator. Now, as an MG or a manifesting generator, being the hybrid, your strategy is to respond and inform. Okay, so it's a bit of both. As a manifesting generator, you are here to display human potential. You're here to break the old ways of how work is being done in the world and to remake it. So do work on your own terms and give people permission to do the same thing. Manifesting generators are non-linear beings, meaning that they're going to jump around from a bunch of different things. You know, the original knowledge kind of says you look back at 40 and see all these weird turns that you took and go, oh, I see how they perfectly fit together, like the thread that runs through everything. So as an MG, you're so fine to be multi-passionate and jump all over the place. The shadow often for a manifesting generator is that you feel like you're a quitter because you don't see things all the way through to the end. Now, sometimes you can be doing that from the shadow, but oftentimes it's because you're you move faster, you learn faster, you get in and you get out faster than the other types. So oftentimes you will take what you need from the learning, from the book, you know, all those books that sit on your nightstand, you'll take what you need and then move on, and that's fine. Then we move on to projectors, and projectors are here to guide us. So we've got our manifestors who are initiating and inspiring people into action, and we've got the generators and the manifesting generators that are building this new world. Then the projectors are looking at all of this and going, okay, I can see now how you can do this better, or you could stop doing this and start doing that. Let's improve this system. Let's fill in the blanks. Let's, you know, create more efficiencies. And that can be anything from tech to, you know, spiritual development. It can be anything. So projectors have all this wisdom inside of them to create greater efficiencies and, you know, improve on what's already there. The challenge with being a projector is that they're here to be seen and recognized for their wisdom. Now, they have to be invited. That's their strategy. They need to be invited to share their wisdom. However, most out of alignment projectors are constantly trying to force their wisdom onto people. They might seem like they're attention seekers, these sort of things. And really, it's all about them wanting to give what's inside of them, but they're not valuing it first. They're looking for the external validation first to say that your wisdom is worthy. So what I would say to you projectors out there is we really need you to be in alignment, because when you're in alignment, we want to invite you in. But when you're not, we don't. And we need you. So please work on your self-worth, develop that, you know, wisdom that lies within you, and then learn to wait for the invitation. And the invitation is going to be very clear of, can you help me with this? You're really good at that. I would love your help with that. You know, maybe you're a coach, getting paid, great freaking invitation. And if you have a projector in your life, just invite them. Just invite them. Invite them to the dinner table. Invite them, you know, to the beach. Like, even though you think they don't need inviting, just invite them and watch how they light up. Give them attention, and they will light up and, you know, really step into their power. And then the last group are our reflectors. Our reflectors are 1% of the global population. They are some of the most powerful humans I've ever come across. I've got a bit of an obsession with reflectors because I feel like there's not a lot of really good information for them out there. So I strive to be the person that does have some really great information for them. And ultimately, in my experience, they are hugely powerful when they're almost like in surrender to life. So they are people that are here to sample life. They're moving through life to notice how things, people, places, experiences make them feel. And over a period of time, like give them 28 days, you know, their strategy is to make decisions over that 28-day moon cycle. And ultimately, with that, they will get a feel of what is correct and what isn't correct, because they're amplifying, reflecting back everything that's in front of them. So the communities that they're with, they're helping to grow that with their energy, just holding space, telling the truth, if you like. They're reflecting back the truth of where people, places, communities, whatever it is, really are at. So they're really demonstrating the truth of who we are and who we're being. So yeah, they're the 5 types.
Wow. Okay. quick question. You said, I know reflectors 1%. How many, the projectors are what percentage? Like
About
low,
14,
right?
I think 14 or 14% around there of the global population.
Okay, so 14. Do you know, is there anyone we might know of that is a reflector, like someone who's well known in our world?
So I think Sandra Bullock is one of the reflectors that is used a lot.
Ah,
For people that might know, one of the reflectors who he's taught in my HDX, my membership community, who's quite well known, is Atara Valentine. I don't know if you know Atara Valentine.
okay.
He's a reflector. Yeah, yeah. I actually think the stats are out. I definitely have more reflectors in my life than,
Yeah.
1% of the people I know. But anywho.
Oh my gosh, so cool. So I know you said, for example, with the manifester, Johnny Depp, I was just thinking if you know any other well-known people to give an
Yeah.
example of manifesting
So
generator or
Oprah
generator.
is, yeah, yeah. Oprah is a generator. Like talk about,
Ah,
doing the work that lights you up and being able to build something. Oprah. Then one of the like often used MG is Beyonce.
nice.
That she kind of, it's not just music. She's music. She's a producer. She has a fashion line. She does all the things, like very MG, very superhuman. The projector that I'm just adoring right now, because she kind of breaks a lot of the um, old school projector rules, which I'm often trying to blow up because I think they can make projectors sound like they're just people who are really tired all the time and sit around and don't do much, which is just so not true. Is Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift, like what she does is she's lit up by what she does. And if you see her on stage, we saw the Eras movie recently. And oh my God, she loves the attention. And we all have these not self themes in each type. And the not self theme of the projector is bitterness. And she does it in such a resourceful way because she writes all these amazing songs about all these experiences. And yeah, so she's super, super in alignment. And when you see her on stage, you can see how much she just loves the attention. And because she's in alignment, like we're all championing her from the crowd, like, yeah, you deserve it, because she's in alignment. She's not trying to force anything on anyone. She's breaking systems, like the music industry. She's breaking systems. She's re-recording her own albums so that, is it Sony don't have control over her music. So she's a really great example of a powerful projector.
Oh, those are such good examples, Emma. Thank you. I think it makes it come alive when it's like, oh, okay. Yep. I can like tie that. I can get it. That person and their energy. One other question. I know this is probably a little bit more than the basics of what you said, but when we started talking, you said, oh, we're both manifesting generators with a 3-5. And for those that are going to get their chart, maybe just to talk for a minute, what does those numbers mean?
Yep.
What does
Brilliant.
that mean?
So the profile, if we're looking at type and we've got into strategy and authority, the next place we want to go is profile. So our profile in human design, we call it it's the costume of our purpose. So the way I like to think of it is it's how we learn, it's how we move through life, it's how we serve. It's these significant themes that are going to, govern life for us. It's how we experience our life. So, for example, we're both 3-5s, which means that we're going to move through life experimenting with everything. We're going to tend to be people that kind of fall down and get back up. We're going to, like, the words that they use in the original knowledge is trial and error. And so for us, we're experiential learners. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go quickly through the line numbers. So the first line number is the investigator, and these are the researchers. These are the people that want all the answers. They go deep. They become the authority because of the knowledge that they gain over time. Then we have the line 2, and they're the naturally talented. So they're the ones that, my youngest son is a line 2, and sometimes it's really irritating because let's say we're all out surfing and it doesn't matter what board he's on or what wave there is. He's the first one up. He's he finds it so easy. He doesn't even really like it that much, but he just finds it easy. So, these are the people who are really naturally talented at things. And they're also people that like to be, it's called the hermit. So they also like to have their own time to develop these natural talents. Then the line 3 is the experiential learner. So we're the ones that are experimenting, trial and error. We often don't know what we want or where we're going until we have an experience. Once we have the experience, then we know where to go from there. Then we have the line 4, which is called the opportunist. These are the people. These are the people who, if you have a line 4 in your profile, you want to be very, very conscious of the relationships that you have in your life, because everything comes through those relationships. Job opportunities, intimate relationships, inspiration, all of these things. What to learn next, it's going to come from your friends. It's going to come from your network. So you've got to be very, very conscious of that. Then we have the line 5s. And the line 5s, they're called the heretics. And the line 5s are here to oftentimes be the healer. So heal themselves first and then help others heal. They do this thing called universalizing. So for you and I, because we have a line 3-5, we're the people, we go out, we have all these experiences, we create all this knowledge, and then we want to universalize it. We want to take it to all the people. We want everyone to know. So the line 5s are very much also about power. And again, that can be shadow power or good power. Empowerment is the way I look at it. They're the healers. They're the problem solvers. Then we have the line 6s, and the line 6s are our visionaries. These are the people, they're called the role models. These are people that if you're a line 6, you need patience, because everything's going to develop over time. You're going to see that you do see the world in a very unique way, and it's your job to live into that world, to embody that world, give everyone else permission to do that, to be very, very, very unique. And you're going to be wise beyond your years, but it's going to take time for you to really develop that wisdom. And later on in life, people will not be able to get enough of that wisdom. It'll constantly get called out of you.
Oh, fantastic. Oh my gosh. I feel like we just did the biggest deep dive in human design we just did this in a way that I'm amazed we fit this all in. It's incredible. And I love, love, love what you're sharing here, Emma, because this is digestible. It can help to really allow for everyone. If you're watching, you're listening, get your human design chart, go look and see what is your type, what line do you have. We will have all this in the show notes, but just so appreciate this incredible wisdom and really, as you said earlier, that blueprint to understand your energy, the blueprint to understand the way that you tick. And I found this to be super, super powerful in my own life. It's one of the reasons I love to talk about human design. And I'm just so thankful to have you here, part of this conversation, Emma, and for the work that you're doing. I love that we share a similar manifesting generator 3-5. So cool. Not surprised. And I'll just say this if you're tuning in, whatever type you are, whatever type it is, it's divinely inspired. It's part of your You-est you. And this to me is part of what we need to be our We-est we, right? Is I'm learning how to be my Me-est me. You're learning how to be and tune into your You-est you. That's what I believe changes our planet, shifts the consciousness, uplifts, and can help us all to really to honor and love ourselves exactly as we are. So, before we wrap, I like to ask this question. It's really honoring your energy, and I call them heart flares. So I'm wondering if there is a heart flare, meaning is there something maybe I didn't ask you or something on your heart that you feel inclined to share before we end?
Yeah, I love this question. And I think the thing that is always on my heart and I always want to share, and I want everyone that's listening to hear, is that that whisper inside of you that there is something great that you have to give to the planet. And how that part of you, your ego, talks over it and says, no, you don't, you have to do this, you have to do that, da, da, da. I just want you to stop it. I want you to really, really, really believe in those whispers within you. You are great. You are powerful. You do know what's correct for you. You do know what you want and where you're going. All of this is inside of you, and you can access it. And the more you build the muscle of trusting your own internal guidance, trusting the universe, trusting the subtle energies, and stop giving your power away to other people, your life will change and the entire planet will change. I mean, I feel like your work, Julie, and mine is so aligned, because ultimately at the end of the day, I want to empower every single human to be a sovereign, loving being so that we can create this planet.
Well, I am so grateful for you, Emma, for you being here, the work that you're doing, the light that you're shining. I love this message and reminder to look within us, ourselves, that the answer, the power is within each of us. I wholeheartedly believe in that and align with that. That is the whole reason for this show, is to bring as many, light workers and luminaries and people that are really trying to be their most authentic self and to shine their light and to help others along the way to build that bridge together. So thank you. Thank you. I love the work you're doing in human design. Loved getting to talk to you. And I'm just grateful to be in the same orbit, my manifesting generator sister, and want to thank each of you, my beloved soul seeker, You-est listener. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I'll definitely have the show notes with information, how to get your human design chart through Emma, also what we talked about, so that you can start to apply this and really get what your blueprint, your energetic blueprint is in your life. From our heart to yours, we are honoring and loving your You-est, and may you continue to follow your energy, your soul, and your authenticity. Lots of love. My friend, I'm so grateful and honored to be here with you on your journey and being your You-est. Thank you for watching this episode, for being part of this incredible community and this mission to really step into your light, to your highest purpose. I believe that as we all do that, we all can really be our best selves and uplift consciousness and in humanity. So thank you. I also wanted to say that if you are looking for greater support right now, maybe you're having a health concern or you're looking to really step into that next version, best version of yourself, please come connect with me, whether it's for more resources or coaching or guidance. I would love to support you in any way that I can. Just go to juliereisler.com. You can book a powerful one-on-one breakthrough session there. You can connect with me. I would love to meet you. I'd love to hear how I can be on this journey with you. And before I forget, if you'd like a little more of this good vibe tribe and would like to digest these episodes with a high vibe community, just go to Facebook and look up the You-est podcast community. You'll find us there. Love always. And thank you so much for taking the time and energy to truly stepping into your authenticity and being your You-est.